Have you ever noticed that some people are incredibly good at taking care of everyone else, but become deeply uncomfortable the moment someone tries to take care of them? They'll stay up all night helping a friend, drive across town for someone they love, drop everything to solve another person's problem without thinking twice. But when someone says, "Let me help you," something changes. They smile. They laugh it off. No, I'm fine. You really don't have to. I'll figure it out." And if someone insists, they don't feel grateful. They feel guilty, not because they've done anything wrong, not because they don't appreciate the kindness, but because receiving it somehow feels heavier than carrying everything alone. Maybe you've seen this in your partner, maybe in your mother, your father, a close friend. Maybe you spent your entire life doing it without ever questioning why. Because from the outside, it looks like independence. It looks like humility. It even looks like strength. But today, I want to show you something that most people never realize. Sometimes, the hardest thing in the world isn't loving other people. It's believing that you're allowed to be loved without earning it first. And that single belief quietly changes the way you experience every relationship you'll ever have. Here's what's fascinating. People usually think guilt only appears after they've made a mistake. But there's another kind of guilt that doesn't come from doing something wrong. It comes from receiving something good. Someone compliments you. Your first instinct is to explain why they're exaggerating. Someone buys you lunch. Before you've even finished eating, you're already planning how to repay them. Your partner notices you're exhausted. They tell you, "Go and rest. I'll take care of everything." Instead of resting, you stand up anyway. You start washing dishes. You fold clothes that don't need folding. You look for something, anything, that makes you feel useful again. Because sitting there while somebody cares for you feels strangely uncomfortable. Now here's the part almost nobody notices. This pattern disguises itself as something admirable. People call it being responsible, being thoughtful, being independent, being considerate. But underneath all those beautiful words, something else is quietly happening. Your mind is treating kindness like debt, not love. Debt. Before we go any further, I want you to think about something. The last time someone genuinely cared for you, what was your very first reaction? Not the polite answer. The first one. Did you immediately relax? Or did you feel an almost automatic urge to give something back? To explain yourself? To refuse? To make the moment smaller? Because whichever feeling arrived first probably wasn't created today. It has been living inside you for much longer than you think. No child enters the world believing, "I have to earn love." Nobody is born apologizing for existing. Nobody is born feeling guilty because somebody hugged them. Those rules are learned quietly, patiently, almost invisibly. Sometimes it happens in homes where everyone is simply overwhelmed. Your parents loved you, but they were exhausted, working, surviving, trying to keep everything together. So, without anyone saying the words, you slowly learned, don't make life harder for them. Sometimes, every act of kindness came with a reminder. Do you know how expensive this was? After everything I've done for you, you should be grateful. So your brain quietly connected two things, receiving and owing. Other times, love only seemed to appear when you achieve something, good grades, good behavior, being mature, being quiet, being helpful, being the child who never caused problems. No one handed you a rule book. Life wrote one for you, line by line, moment by moment, until one invisible sentence quietly settled into your nervous system. If people are going to give something to me, I have to deserve it first. And here's the dangerous part. You stopped experiencing that sentence as a belief. You started experiencing it as reality. The most powerful beliefs in your life are almost never the ones you consciously chose. They're the ones you repeated for so many years that they now sound like your own voice. That's why when someone is kind to you today, your reaction isn't really about today. Your nervous system is responding to a rule that may have been written 20 years ago. A friend buys you coffee. Your brain whispers, you owe them. Your husband cooks dinner because you've had a difficult week. Your brain whispers, don't get used to this. Your wife tells you take the evening off. Your brain whispers, you're being lazy. Someone says, I'm proud of you. And somehow, instead of feeling seen, you start looking for reasons they might be wrong. Because your mind is quietly confused, being loved with being worthy enough to receive love. And that is one of the loneliest ways a person can live. Here's what most people never realize. The problem isn't that you struggle to receive kindness. The problem is what that struggle slowly begins to do to every relationship in your life. Because relationships aren't built only by giving. They're built by allowing someone else to give to. Think about the people you love the most. Your parents, your closest friend, your husband, your wife, your child. Now imagine every single time they reached out, you pushed their hand away. Not because you didn't love them, because you didn't want to be a burden. How long before they quietly stopped reaching? This is a tragedy. People think refusing help protects the people they love. But over time, it often does the exact opposite. Because every healthy relationship has something invisible holding it together. Not money, not attraction, not even communication. Reciprocity. The feeling that both people are allowed to carry each other. When one person is always giving and the other person never allows themselves to receive, the relationship slowly becomes one-sided. Not because one person is selfish, because one person doesn't believe they're allowed to need anyone. I want you to think about someone who has tried to love you well. Maybe they're still in your life. Maybe they aren't. How many times did they genuinely offer to help only to hear you say, I'm fine. Don't worry about me. I've got it. Now ask yourself something difficult. Were you protecting them or protecting yourself from the discomfort of being cared for? Here's something people almost never talk about. When someone loves you, helping you makes them feel useful. It makes them feel trusted. It makes them feel close to you. So every time you reject genuine care, you're not just refusing assistance. Sometimes you're unknowingly refusing intimacy, because intimacy isn't built when one person constantly rescues the other. It's built when two people feel safe, depending on each other. Many people spend their entire lives trying to become the easiest person to love. They never ask for much. They rarely complain. They solve their own problems. They carry their own pain. They become the dependable one, the strong one, the mature one, the friend everyone calls, the sibling who never needs anything, the partner who says, don't worry about me. But here's what nobody tells them. People don't become closer to you only because you help them. They become closer because you let them matter to you. That's why the strongest relationships aren't built by perfect people. They're built by people who trust each other enough to occasionally say, I'm struggling today. And here's where it gets even more heartbreaking, because eventually your brain starts confusing exhaustion with identity. You become proud of never needing anyone. You wear independence like armor. People admire it. They compliment it. They call you resilient. but inside, you're carrying a weight that was never supposed to be carried alone. Then one day, someone comes into your life and genuinely wants to love you, not because you've earned it, not because you've achieved something, simply because they care. And instead of feeling safe, your nervous system becomes suspicious. Why are they being so nice? What do they want? How long before this changes? How do I repay them? Love arrives, and your first instinct is to prepare for the invoice. Imagine how exhausting that must be, to never fully relax inside someone's kindness, to constantly calculate whether you've earned the care you're already receiving. This is what your nervous system has quietly believed for years. If someone gives to me, I must immediately give something back. Otherwise, I become a burden. And once that invisible rule takes over, even the healthiest relationships begin to feel emotionally expensive because nothing ever feels free. Not compliments, not help, not patience, not forgiveness, not love. But here's the beautiful part. Just because a rule has lived inside you for years doesn't mean it has to stay there forever. So, how do you unlearn a belief that you've been living by for most of your life? Not by forcing yourself to suddenly become comfortable receiving love. That's too big a jump. Your nervous system doesn't change because you tell it to. It changes because you repeatedly give it a different experience. And that starts with one very small decision. The next time someone offers to help you, don't answer immediately. Notice what happens inside you first. Do you feel guilty? Do you feel embarrassed? Do you immediately start thinking about how you'll repay them? Do you hear a quiet voice saying, I shouldn't be taking this? Don't fight those thoughts. Don't judge them. Just notice them, because awareness is where every lasting change begins. For the next 7 days, I want you to try something that will probably feel uncomfortable. When someone offers you genuine kindness, don't reject it. Instead, accept it with one simple sentence. Nothing more. Just say, thank you. I really appreciate that. That's it. No apology. No explanation. No, you really didn't have to. No, I'll pay you back. No, I owe you one. Just thank you. I really appreciate that. It sounds almost too simple. But if that sentence feels surprisingly difficult, you just discovered how deeply that invisible rule has been shaping your life. Because healthy love isn't a transaction, it's an exchange of trust. Before we leave, I want to ask you one last question. Imagine someone you love, someone who matters deeply to you. Now imagine they came to you one day and said, I'm struggling. Would you think less of them? Would you see them as weak? Would you believe they had become a burden? Probably not. In fact, you'd probably feel honored that they trusted you enough to let you in. So why have you spent so many years believing that the same grace doesn't apply to you? Maybe, without ever realizing it, you've been living by this sentence. I have to earn love before I'm allowed to receive it. But here's the truth. Love that has to be earned isn't really love. It's approval. Real love doesn't wait for perfection. It doesn't keep score. It doesn't send invoices. It simply says, you're carrying too much. Let me help. Healing doesn't begin the day you become completely fearless. It begins the day you stop apologizing for being human. The day you stop feeling guilty because someone cared. The day you realize that allowing people to love you is one of the greatest gifts you can give them. Because when you let someone carry a little of your weight, you're not becoming a burden. You're giving the relationship room to breathe, room to deepen, room to become real. If today's video felt strangely personal, there's a reason. Every week, we uncover another invisible rule that quietly shapes the way we think, the way we love, and the way we live, not to make you feel broken, but to help you see that many of the struggles you've carried for years were never truly yours to begin with. So if you're someone who's ready to understand yourself a little more deeply and rewrite the invisible rules that have been running your life, you're home here. And before you go, I want you to answer one question in the comments. What's the hardest act of kindness you've ever struggled to accept? You might be surprised how many people have been carrying the exact same invisible rule. Until next time, this is the inner standard, and this is where that starts.